Good morning everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a large family living off-grid in Australia. It is Sunday morning, and on Sundays I generally do a bit of a chat video. I thought I'd bring you along with a few different things. So today I've had some requests about the 3D printing processes and things like that, so I've got to get some printing and stuff done today, so I thought I'd bring you along for that. It's also Darryl's just headed off to church with a couple of the kids who wanted to go. We got a couple of kids still out the back on the patio putting dishes away and stuff as their first task of the morning. I have coffee, which is always a good start to the day. And I have done some admin work first up this morning. So I was waiting for the solar. The kids left the pool pump on last night, so the solar was pretty low this morning, so I was waiting for it to kick up a little bit before I started using the printers, because I like to let it sort of kick in. So I have an app on my phone that I can check I have to move it to get close enough to the Bluetooth, that I can check what the solar is doing. So it's only at 75% at the moment, but there is 1500 watts going into the batteries at the moment, so it's got some nice throughput from the sun and stuff at the moment, so it will kick up nice and fast, though it looks like the kids are using the taps on and off, which draws a significant amount of power, so I might wait just a little bit. I've got to create a custom lid for someone, so we might do that first, and I'll get that set up so that I can start those going. I do need to redo some settings for one as well. I'm going to swap out what my camera's sitting on because I need what it's sitting on. I did a custom orange one for a customer, and the text on the top, and I don't know if this is a gift or if this person watches or anything, but the text on the top is black on orange was the request, and the black has bled a little bit, so you can see that the black has bled into the orange a little bit, so I need to up my flush volume so that it flushes more black before it starts the orange, so that the orange is clean. So I need to reprint that lid, but I need to up my flush volumes for that. So when the printer changes colors, it flushes the old color and then pushes the new color until a point where it thinks that it's enough that it hasn't got any of the previous color left in it. Obviously this black and orange is a little bit, because the black is so much darker than the orange, we've got a bit of issues there. So I'm going to fix that up for that lid so that it doesn't, because it just looks dirty. It just looks like there's dirt on the lid, and I don't want that. I want it nice and clean. So I'm going to fix that one up. But I do have a custom order for a few that they want a custom saying on it. Let me just double check to make sure that I get this right. Find the email. So we want it to say snot what it looks like. So we're going to create that on a lid. I think I've already printed some of the bases, so I've got a spreadsheet where I tick off as I print the bases and stuff, and I print the lids and things like that. But I haven't done the lids yet because I hadn't done the custom text on it yet, so I need to do that. The other thing I was looking at was some bees. Someone requested bees. I thought it was an order. I need to find a hair tie. I washed my hair last night and it is just a frizzy mess. I thought it was an order, but then I couldn't find it, so I think maybe it was mentioned in the comments, so that's fine. I did a pattern up with bees on it, and I want to see how it prints, so I need to do that as a sample at some point as well. And I also have some stars to finish. So I printed some stars yesterday. So we have some stars. I cut some stars yesterday. So I've got all these stars to wrap up and post. But I need to design the next batch. So I can print 9 at a time on a sheet of timber. Cut 9 at a time on a sheet of timber. So I need to get this sorted, and I will show you off the new laser engraver as well at the time. I did get gifted the Falcon 2 Pro, and I got gifted it months ago, and I was supposed to do a video on it, and I love it. It's super fast, it cuts fantastically well, it's so much better than the previous one that I was using, but we have had no end of trouble with it. I'll show it to you later, but the lid on it is a red Perspex, and the red Perspex slides into a frame, and it's been pushed out numerous times. Cats have been a big cause of it, but a child did it at one point too, just leant across to have a look and pushed on it, and the whole perspex came out. And so the perspex is a little bit dinged up, but I also had to pull the whole framework apart to get it to slide back in, because it has to go in a specific way, because that red perspex is what protects the eyes and everything else from the laser. So we had that problem with it, and then we've had some issues with it venting. So you can purchase a filter, like an air purifier to attach to it, but it's about $800, and I just don't have that kind of cash at the moment. So we vented outside, so we have it next to a window. We had it next to the doors, and now that it's summer, we've got the doors open, so that wasn't suitable. So we moved it over next to a window, and the window, it vents out to the window, but the problem is it's blowing back inside. So then we had to hook up. We have some flue from the potbelly stove that we didn't end up getting set up in time to use, because it was sold to us supposedly all in one piece, and it wasn't. We actually have to purchase a new grill plate and a new what are they called, the thing that goes in the flue that opens up to let the air flow, baffle thing. Because the ones that came, obviously they jury rigged it to work, and we cannot seem to jury rig it the same way, and nothing seals up properly. So we couldn't get it working. So it's all just stacked neatly in a corner, waiting for when the weather cools down again, and we will have to travel to, there's a place that sells all the pieces for these particular potbelly stoves in Warwick. But we don't go to Warwick very often. It's a little out of the way, but Darryl will go to Warwick to sort that out. But in the meantime, we're using the flue to direct the smoke a little bit further away from the house, because it's not something you want blowing back into the house. It's not something you want to be breathing, and venting it outside is fine, so long as when it vents outside it's going elsewhere. But at the moment, we used to have it in the bedroom, and it would go out the window out the side of the house, and I think because the building was up off the ground, it would suck away because of the airflow where the pipe was sitting. But where it's sitting at the moment, it's just not working. So we got the flue on there. And I will do another cut today. So I will show you how I design the stars, because I've got another sheet to design. I've got names ready to go, and then I will get them cut and we'll show off the laser engraver. I don't really need to do anything in the kitchen today. There's another video that'll come out after this that I actually filmed the last couple of days, which is a food related video. So I've done a whole lot of bits and pieces over the last few days, and I just pulled chicken thighs out for dinner tonight. So we will just have crispy skinned chicken thighs with veggies, potato, we've still got asparagus and broccoli and whatever else I want to add to it. So we will have that for dinner, which requires very minimal prep. It's just going to be cooked, so I don't really need to do anything in the kitchen today. We had pizza for dinner last night, and there's leftover pizza dough, so the kids can make that for lunch when they get back from church. Otherwise, I think they've already had ramen, mind you. There's still granola left too, so they're all good. So I'm not going to do much in the kitchen today. The plan is to just get some of this stuff done, and maybe get some seedlings potted up and things like that. Darryl has a volunteer thing that he does for the church this afternoon at the Ulambi, at the old person's home, so he will be out again this afternoon. So he won't be around most of today. He'll get back from church and he'll be back for a couple of hours, and then he'll be gone again. I did mention the other day about the roof of the kitchen. I get a lot of people saying, you really need to do the roof, and I get it, we do. It's a massive thing, because we need to rearrange the kitchen and everything else, and we can't do that till we get the roof up. I don't think we're capable of doing it, is what it comes down to. We got the posts up, we got the channel up, the C channel that the insulated panels slide into. So the insulated panels have to slide into the top part, and then they sit over the bottom rail and get attached to it. The roof is quite high because we have decking, and then it's above that, and it's above the current roof. And the panels are quite large. They're 2.6 meters long, I think, and I think they're 75 or 100 mil thick, which is thicker than the ones that we used. SD card ran out. The panels that we bought were secondhand. They were slightly hail damaged, so we got them really cheap because he got them replaced on insurance and he didn't need them. So we got them really cheap. They fit where we need to go. However, they are pretty heavy. So the need is for both of us to be up on a ladder, to lift them up above our heads, to slide them into the channel and place them. The thing is that we only have access to that channel from one end of the patio as well, because the other end butts up to a pole that we can't get past. So we have to basically slide it in the yard, slide it in and slide it all the way across. So it needs to be done all at once, because we're going to have to remove the roof underneath it to get to it to slide it across. But the problem is that I'm not very good on a ladder. Obviously I am fairly heavy, which is one of those mind things. Like, if you're a heavy person and you've been heavy your whole life, and I've been heavy my whole life, things like climbing ladders or going on bridges or riding horses or things like that, they feel like you shouldn't do them. It's completely in my head, and I understand that, but it makes me apprehensive about doing things like that, because I think, I'm too heavy to do it. So ladders aren't my thing, but also my balance isn't great. Because of all the neurological issues that I have and everything else, I'm a bit of a falls risk, and climbing ladders is not my greatest forte. I manage when I need to, and I do. I go up ladders all the time to help Darryl. But going up a ladder whilst also lifting a, 45, 50 kilo panel between the two of us, and having to angle it between the two of us, slide it into a channel and all the rest of it, we've tried a few times, and I don't think I'm enough help. So whilst Darryl can manage a lot of it on his own, he cannot do that on his own, and I don't think I'm enough help. Now, the biggest issue is that we have a few people that have offered us some assistance. There's a gentleman who lives down the road who we gave some point-of-laid chickens to, and he's offered us to come and give us a hand. But the roof is in the yard, and the dogs are in the yard, and the dogs do not like strangers. It's too much of a risk. You just do not know how dogs will respond to a third party coming up and down a ladder, and potential yelling and swearing and all the rest of it of putting a roof up. It's just not worth the risk. Whilst I have absolutely no issues with my dogs, with my family and my kids, and even when mum comes to visit, within a couple of days she can go out and walk through the yard and everything else, and there's not an issue. Having someone come in to do construction with noise and all the rest of it in the yard with what equates to guard dogs. They are all cattle cross, like mum is a cattle, and then the two other dogs are pups of hers, and they're crossed with whatever got into her, so they're cattle crosses. They are guard dogs. They are required to bark when people are around, because that is part of what they do. They alert us to potential issues. The pigs got out the other day, and they alerted us to the fact that the pigs had broken through part of the fencing and allowed us to go and round them up and fix that fencing. Like, that is their job. And so I don't, as much as I try and stop them from barking excessively, their job is to bark, and therefore it'd be really nice if we could bring someone to the yard and tell them this person is okay, but they just don't understand that. So we don't have anywhere we can lock them up either. We have a pen that can be closed and locked, but it's a single pen, and the problem with dogs and hierarchies and strangers being around is if you lock all three dogs into one space and you've got a stranger on the property and everything else, the dogs end up squabbling. The bottom of the pack ends up being pinned because it's a hierarchy thing. And our dogs aren't excessively trained because that's their family pets. So whatever feedback, I'm sure I'll get some negative out of sharing this, but anyway, there is reasons. I do get a lot of comments about just get the roof done. Darryl should just get the roof done and all the rest of it. And there is some extenuating circumstances to getting that roof done, and it's very frustrating, but we have to figure it out first. The secondary garden space has no plants in it at the moment where the solar is and stuff. But it is only fenced on the side that like it's got metal all the way around it to keep kangaroos and stuff out. But there's no dog fencing, which creates the height of the fence around half of the fence. So we could potentially fence that off properly, and then the dogs could go into that space. However, the greenhouse space that is the actual garden that has the raspberries and all the rest of it in it, and isn't secure, has. So the garden space that has the shade cloth that actually has the plants in it is accessible from that garden space. Like, it's only shade cloth, and if Lamington gets out there, she can get into the garden, and the dogs would too, and then they could potentially get out from there out in general. So we need to put dog wire around the top of the metal fencing to create the height so they can't jump, but we also need to put something rigid across where the actual garden is that is only shade cloth before we can have the chance to lock them out there as well. So it's complicated, and I just wanted to cover that because we're trying. We are. That kitchen roof has been, but it is what it is. So what we need to do is sort of take that as not being done at the moment and focus on the next task. So we got the weed matting down on the garden space. I'll put a photo of that here. I might take you out later. We got the weed matting and the aviary mesh down. And then we've had a lot of rain, but we also couldn't find the manual for the garden structure in the boxes. And I contacted the company, but the problem is that I didn't buy it direct from Vita XL. I bought it from Vita XL through Bunnings because the shipping worked out better, and I could use interest free on it. So I can't access the manual from Vita XL because I don't have an order number from Vita XL. I've only got an order number through Bunnings. So I've contacted Vita XL via Bunnings, but I have not had a response. So we need the manual. As from what I can understand, you build the base first, but we don't even have the piece of paper that tells us which pieces are which. It's probably in the boxes somewhere, but Darryl didn't want to spread everything out from the boxes when he didn't need all of that to start with, because we need to get the base. So the base has metal at 30 centimeters or whatever, and we need to get that base placed before we put some of the, we want to put an IBC in there, and we want to put some of the barrels in there. Now the doorways are very, very narrow, so we need to get those placed before we get the rest of it built. So we just need the base down to do that, but he's hesitant to just do it without any instructions and then get halfway through and realize that he used the wrong piece somewhere. So, we did get the pool up and running. Got the new filter delivered from Best Way, or Best Pool Supplies or whatever, but the Best Way filter, the inexpensive ones. And it is running, and the pool is running, hence, the low power this morning because they left the pool filter running all night, but they're enjoying that. They get in there and vacuum and swim, and on every future video from now you will hear dogs barking because they want to play in the pool, and children splashing and yelling. Hopefully having the mic this year will assist with reducing that. There was some videos a while back, a few years ago, a canning coleslaw one, I think, is the one that comes up a lot, that people comment and say, can't hear you over the children, and I'm like, well, I have kids, and that was the level of my expertise and equipment at the time. That was what it was, but hopefully be improved this year. So anyway, that is done. All right, let's get the we might get the text done first so that I can get those printing, those lids printing, and some bases. Now, the bases for the tissue containers, they take between 4.5 hours to 6 hours to print, depending on the size and the design. So I really only print 3 or 4 of these a day on my 3 printers, because I only print during daylight hours. And then I do all the lids and stuff in the time left. So I might start up some bases first. I'll check my spreadsheet and I'll get some bases started and sent to the printers first while we design the lids, and then that way I can do the lids afterwards. So I have a spreadsheet. I know this isn't going to be very interesting for you to look at. I have my screens in front of me. So let me close up anything that has anything that I don't really need you guys to see. And have a look at this. All right. I don't know if I suppose I can screen share, but what I might just do is try and put you in a position that you can see. Not a fancy, tech person. I could share screen, and you wouldn't have the glare and stuff if I shared the screen, would you? But we'll deal. All right, so this is the spreadsheet that I've just got with the toilet paper rolls on it. It's super simple. I have all the orders. I have packing slips and everything for everything else, but this is just how I've been keeping track of what I'm printing. So we've got the base printed, the top printed, and then when it's posted. So I've only posted, I haven't even ticked the ones I posted off, but I've posted a couple off so far. I had to wait on packaging, and now actually I didn't think about it, but because the larger ones are larger, they don't fit in the packaging that I bought. So I've actually got a set of boxes turning up that'll fit the larger ones, because these more snug they fit the containers, the better the pricing on shipping, because they're not very heavy, but then you've got your cubic space sizing and stuff. So anyway, I have this spreadsheet with all the things that I need to do printing on the bases. Now I have some more blue filament turning up Monday, so I am a bit low on blue at the moment. So what I look for is ones that I can print. So I need an army blue eucalyptus, so I will do that one. So then I need to open up my Bamboo Studio, and I've got all my different designs sitting in here as I need them. So this is that bee one that I was talking about. It's a bit hard to see the bees on it, but it's got the little stripy bees and then the solid bees, and I will print one and I'll see what that looks like. But we want an army blue eucalyptus. So I have the eucalyptus pattern here. I'm going to slice that one, which gives me the time required up here. So this one takes 5 hours and 4 minutes to print, and then I need to go and put the relevant color on the printer to be able to print that one. So let's do that. So this is my A1 setup here. This is the color we're doing, this army blue that I made this bottle out of. It's a really lovely sort of a dark blue. So that's the color we're picking today, which is this spool here. So I need to remove a spool from my AMS. So I have the AMS2 that I managed to get cheap, set up with my A1s. This costs almost as much as the A1. Honestly, but we have some issues with humidity. So I have an AMS Lite on one of my other printers, and this works similarly, but the thing is that all the filament is out in the open. So by having it enclosed here, it means that I can have desiccant in here and it keeps things in here dry. This does have a drying function. I probably wouldn't use it because power usage, and I only really use PLA, but it being enclosed, it keeps things dry. So there is a huge Black Friday sale on printers at the moment, and I was hoping to fund purchasing one or two more with the proceeds from the toilet roll holders and stuff, but we are a bit short on money. So for the moment, I haven't done anything about it. We will see how we go, because I wouldn't mind a couple more to use, because things take a long time to print and I can't print at nighttime. And I really enjoy it. This hobby has been something that I have very much enjoyed. So this is my MS. I'm going to remove one of the colors, probably the pink, actually, because I don't think I've got anything else that needs to go pink at the moment, whereas I need to reprint that orange lid. We use white on the lids a lot, and I'm pretty sure I've got some army green left to go. So we're going to remove the pink from the AMS, and we're going to place the blue. I'm holding the camera here, so you'll have to excuse, and you can see all my boxes of stock piled up in my bedroom. So we're going to see if I can load this one-handed, which I don't know if I can. There we go. So that is loading in. All right. So that one is sorted from this end. The printer is turned on. and ready to go. The plate is on there. I've got these new Geeko plates which require no heating. So this means that there's a lot less power usage because these don't require heating for PLA, and so it requires much less power to run. So this is all ready to go. Now we go back to the computer to send it. All right, so then we go print plate. We're going to select the printer that has that particular printer, which I call A1 right because it is the A1 that is on the right hand side of the shelves. And we're going to select number 4 because that's where we put the army blue in, and we're going to send. So now it's going to send to the printer, and then it's going to start. So it will do its leveling and everything first. It will do a bed leveling and it'll check the flow of the filament and all that sort of thing, and then it will start. So I'll show it to you when it starts. Now, what else do we need to print at the moment? So we have an army green in mushrooms, but I left that army green in that same printer, which means I can't use it at the moment, so that's fine. We have a green gum colored one for in a green. I'm gonna have to check that because I haven't written that down right. Anyway, we got blue. As I said, I've got blue still coming, purple, mint, blue, pink. I've done the pink, purple. I've got a purple over on the other printer, so I might print that large purple mushrooms over on the other printer. So we go back, and now I haven't turned the mushroom one into a large size yet. Now, because I did these designs parametrically, it means that I can just scale them. So I can add a new plate. I can take the mushrooms one, I can copy it and paste it on the new plate, and then I can scale that up to 116, 116, 125, and that is the correct sizing for the larger rolls. It just worked out well that way because I did the parametric design, and that's what I learned how to do to be able to build these. So now we have the mushrooms set there. I can slice that one, and it will take 7 hours and 51 minutes, that one. That's a pretty detailed print with all the mushrooms. So I need to get that started now because it's 10 to 9. So that one will be done, late. So I need to get that one started. It takes 178 grams of filament. I will make sure that there is enough on the spool, and I will send that to one of the other printers and get that one going as well. Right, so next thing we need to do is create those that text. So I've just got a random one open up. This is that one with the bees that I haven't tried printing yet. I will give it a go, but for the moment this is what we're working on, is the lid. So we are going to create a sketch. We are going to create on this plane here, we are going to create a 2-point circle starting in the middle and go 80 mils. And then we are going to create that, and then we're going to create text, and we're going to put it on here, and we're going to put snot what it looks like on there. We're going to play with the sizing to get, oops, that wasn't what I wanted, to get it a good size like that. And then we're going to, it's not what it looks like. I think that that's a good size. We could possibly go up a little bit more. I think I like it about there. I think that that will work. And then I use a retro capital, which I own the rights to use, and we're going to finish that one. Then we are going to extrude this one. We want it, but I'm not teaching here. So, I'm just sharing the process because we want this negative, and we want it as a new component so that we can paint it in Bamboo Lab. And there you go. All right. So we've got snot what it looks like written there. Now I'm going to export this as an XTL. We're going to put snot lid, export. And then we're going to come into the bamboo slicer again. We're going to find the window that has the lids. There we go. We're going to add a new plate to that window, and we're going to place that STL, which will be in my art resources. It will be under, should have been art resources, 3D toilet holder, today, snot lid. So let's just get rid of these. Snot lid placed here. Now, I haven't created an STL, a project that has them separated, so I'm just going to split these to objects. I'm going to delete the container because I don't need it. Now, we have to paint the words. So the words are on the bottoms of these, okay? So this object over here, this is the items for it. I think, can you see it? There, okay, so we've got the items for it. So this is the main lid. All of these above it are the text. So we are going to set filament as the white for that. We're going to merge those, and then we're going to merge that with the lid as well. And now we can move them at the same time and place them on the plate. And now it's not what it looks like is written on there. So now if we slice that one, you will be able to see it says not what it looks like, and it tells you. So it changes the filament 3 times because it's going to print the white and whatever color the lid is at the same time. So it's going to print one layer and then one layer and then change a couple of times to do that, to create that that text on there. So that is all sorted, and now I have that saved. And I can do that. So there's an order with 3 of those, but it's now something that I can use again whenever I want to. So that's why I have all the different lids, because if I get custom orders, I put them in here, but all my standard ones, and they are labeled as well. So you can actually go in and you can edit the title and you can change it there, and then that way it shows you without having to roll them over. So, you know, there's a blank, there's the large blank, and then I haven't labeled these obviously, but the deluxe, the not your average hands off, because tissues, all of these are already saved, and so I can just come in and slice and print them. And the lids take approximately, let's see, have a look at the preview, an hour and a half to print. So that's why I do some bases first, and then I print a bunch of lids off in the afternoon as well. So that's what we're doing. So that's how I've been doing the tissue paper, the toilet tissue paper holders, whatever you want to call them. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? The toilet roll tissue holders. And we have a collection of them at the moment that are waiting to be posted. I have many sitting here just waiting to be posted. I was trying to film a short of them, which is why I had them all piled up, and was trying to film a short to share on Facebook, or to see if everyone else could share it, and if we might get some more sales out of it. So I've filmed some of it, I just need to do the rest of it, but that's why I have a pile sitting here ready to be posted, which I will do today, tomorrow morning, because Darryl will go to the post office on Tuesday. Again, so filming these things are not my forte, but we will give this a go. So I have a template set up for my stars. This is what fits on a 30 by 300 by 300 piece of wood. And we're going to start with adding text, okay? So I use a text called Bahama script, and obviously my hands are going to be getting in the way anyway, but anyway, I put the name in. I did handwrite them initially, and then found that it didn't create any sort of extra personalization, so it wasn't worth doing. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this text into a star. We're going to make sure that it's as square as possible, and every star is different, every name is different. I actually haven't had that many repeat names. It's strange. I really would have expected to have had repeat names, but I haven't. So we're going to adjust the name to suit the text, the star, because we want certain crossovers and certain other parts that don't cross over. So like we want all the letters to join, so we create a join between the T and the R there. I do not like this big tail on my T's because I find that it doesn't look like a T. So I am taking these off and creating just a curve without that big tail. So a nice smooth curve like that. We need to adjust our eyes because my hand was resting. We need to adjust our eyes because we have to drag that down to be joined with the word. So that has to be dragged down there. We need to close any gaps to make it nice and strong. So we create the nice rounded surface of the A like that. And then what we need to do, I might create a little bit more of a line here so that the T just has a little bit more of a contact point there. And then we also go in and we go into the star and we delete spots that will help to create the letters. So we're going to take out this bit of the N here to create, and I'm going to just do a little curve there just to create a little bit more gap with that one. And then this one is pretty much sorted. So that's the first name done. And then I will export this as a PNG. I will go into Illustrator and create an STL vector to go to the laser printer with that one. So all I do is I create the names. Oh, actually, the other thing I do is take some of this tail off the N so that it isn't imposing on the next star, but also because it becomes a fragile point, having too much of a kick out like that. So we take the tail off the end so it still has a kick but doesn't have that much of a kick, and that's how we work it. So we take different spots out, add spots as needed depending on the name and all the rest of it. And as I said, it's surprising, I haven't had that many double ups of names. It's yeah. So all I do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to create the other ones that need to be done. Hopefully I have 9 for a page, but if not, I can just do part of a page and I can do the other part of the timber another time. That's not a big deal. So all I do is I go in, I go back to my stars, I duplicate my star so that I've got a fresh one just in case I delete something I shouldn't. Add my text, and then we've got Aiden there, and then we're going to square it up, and then we're going to play with the placement. We can do freeform or what's needed. It really depends on what you want it to look like. So having that A attached there, that N attached there, and that D attached there, it works really well. Like that, and the A attached there, but I don't like the way this A sits. So then what I do is I go in and I select just the A and I create that to go, I play with it every time, see what we want it to look like. So we need to remove that middle post there. Let's see how that one looks. If we just have a quick look at the eraser, we take this out here. See, I don't like that. It doesn't look enough like an A to me. It's not working for me. So I go in and I reselect that A and I figure out what I'm in the wrong layer. See, that's why I sometimes have the extra star just in case I do something I can't undo. So we're going to pull that up a little bit, and what we might do is then we might pull the rest of this. We'll see. You might see if it... like that, and then let's see if we can... There we go. I think that will work nicely. So then we go in and we clean it up. I'm going to close that A up. Close that A up. We're going to grab that dot on the I. Like that. Bring that down. I'm going to take out that little bit that's overhanging the star there because I just don't think it looks right, but I'll leave the curl. I think that that curl works with that A, but we just don't, we want that nice sharp point in the star. And then we need to go into the star and start looking at what needs to be erased here. So we're going to take the shape out of the end to make that look like an N. I'm just going to take that curve just a little bit like I did before. Anything that needs to be pulled there, and we need this that off there, and that looks like a nice clean A. Now the only other thing is that I had a bit of a mess here in the join, so we're just going to clean up this little bit of a bit, though when I bring it into Illustrator it will clean it up any way I can clean up the lines so they're nice and smooth. So, but there we go. So then we've got the second one done. So you don't need to see me do the rest of them, but I will do the rest of them and then I'll bring you back when I'm printing them. All right, so this is the Creality Falcon 2 Pro. As I said, this was gifted to me to do some videos on, except that it's a great machine, but I've run into some troubles and I'm going to have to talk to them about a few different things. But I'm going to show you it working because it works perfectly. We've just run into some issues with various different things. I did take some footage when we first got it of the box being opened and things like that, but I'm not very good at shorts, and that was what it was supposed to end up being, and it just didn't make it there. So what we've got is the 40-watt laser module in this one. It's nice and compact, which is great because it's got the sliding lid, but the sliding lid has its own flaws. As I've said, we've had multiple issues with the plastic being popped through, and once it's popped through you have to pull the frame apart to put it back. You cannot just slide it back in. So we've actually got something over the top of it to stop anything going on top, but it also means we've had to leave it open. So unless you're in an enclosed space or you don't have animals or children, then it's not ideal, but it does do what it needs to do. It also has a drawer, which is great. So the compact factor of having the sliding lid rather than a lift up lid means that it doesn't have to have the height available above it, and then the drawer for cleaning out means that, again, you're not lifting things out to do it. So you can just pull the drawer out and you can clean it out. So those two features were things that really appealed to me when they sent me the thing to say to grab it. I just wish this was executed a little bit better. So it has to be plugged into the computer as well. If there's a Wi-Fi aspect to it, I don't have it. I don't know if there is, but if there is, I don't have it. So we have the Falcon program that we use to go with the engraver. I've imported those stars, the lines and the stars, and all I'm going to do is frame up the piece of wood and hit send. Basically, it has the materials that you can use already put in there, so you just check it and it sets up the line cutting that's required for those. It's very user friendly, very point and click. So what we're going to do first is get the piece of wood in there and framed. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to line up the timber where I already know that it's around about where to go, but then we're also going to frame it. So we're going to close the lid. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see with the reflection there, but we're going to frame the cut, and the laser will measure where it's going to, like the external edge of the potential item that we're cutting. So it's going to show me that it needs to go up very slightly by the looks of it. So we're just going to I'm actually going to move the print up because that is balanced, and then we will try it again. Oh, we moved it the wrong way. because that's even further out of. Now you can set markers up in the, like if I set the markers up in here to know exactly where that piece of timber has to go, because I print these pieces of timber all the time, and then I set the markers up on the screen of the computer too, that would work to make this a simple process, but I just haven't got there yet. There has been lots of arguments with just getting it to work, that I haven't done any of the fine tuning as such yet. It also has a camera, and I did calibrate the camera originally before we had to pull it all apart to do the repairs, and when I went to load it up, it asked me to calibrate it again, and it's a fairly long-winded process, so I haven't done that as yet, but I do need to do it because I need to engrave some teaspoons, and so I need to be able to see them on the screen to be able to do that. So that has framed up fine. So all we're going to do is we're going to turn our air assist on high, and we're going to send the cut. Now this, I didn't have the 3D printer running the last time I ran this, and they're both on the same table. It looks to be some vibrations happening from the 3D printer. I'm not sure if that's going to cause issues. I'm going to have a look, and if there is, we will have to troubleshoot. So for the moment, I'm going to let this run for the whole sheet, which takes around about 16 minutes to run the 9 stars through. All right, so lesson learned, cannot run the 3D printer and the laser engraver on the same place because it does this, the vibrations of the 3D printer are too much. So I suspected it as soon as I started it, but we learned, so we won't be doing that again. So let's start again. We're going to have to frame this one up again. And I got it in the right spot that time. So that's all framed up, and we're just going to start the print again. Air assist on max, we've got it venting outside, and we're going to run the stars again. All right, so that one's done. Yep. So it has a magnetic safety on the door as well. So when it's closed, the blue light, it can run. If you need to stop it in a hurry, you can open it and it disengages. It also has an emergency stop button that, I don't know if you can see. Let me move you down there. So it's also got an emergency stop button here as well. So lots of different ways to stop it. It also has a fire fire detection. So if there's anything that catches on fire, it will stop, auto stop, and so that is those done. So the stars come out like this, and then I gently work any little bits that are that need to be popped out. Use tweezers for the little bits in the A's and stuff to pop them out if they haven't popped out, and the H and the little hole and stuff, and that's how they turn out. So that is the process of doing the stars. I will do a family tree that I'll show you in this video, because it's now 5:15 because we had an incident with the pigs and stuff, and I still have to finish the video out with other stuff. So, but that is the stars and the process with the laser engraver. I will show it to you again and show you some more stuff that it does, but for the moment that's it for today because it's too late. So this Sunday Squirrel has ended up like all over the place, even more than normal. I have no idea what I've covered today. Darryl went to the second church thing and I had to call him back because the pigs got out, and the kids and I managed to get them in and all that before he got back, but we needed some help with fixing the corner of the pen that they got out of. A sheet of stars cut out, but only one because we found out that it can't run the 3D printer, and that at the same time there is a shelving unit that I would like to get from Bunnings. Because we haven't had the ute, we haven't had the availability to be able to grab it because it's a bulk. I did get, this is that blue one with the eucalyptus pattern on it. It's such a lovely blue. I really like this blue. I've got more of this blue coming, and I read my spreadsheet wrong, and this lid isn't actually needed for this one, but this is what it looks like. Came out after the figuring it out. So that's what that one looks like. It's going to end up being a spare lid, mind you, because I did something wrong there. But that one's done amongst other different ones that needed to be printed as well today. So they are all sorted, and I need to do a big postage sort for Darryl to take to the post office and get the stuff that has been done out. Was the yellow tropical one was the other one that we printed, as well as the purple mushroom in the large. So they were the three that you saw me set up this morning. I didn't realise this, but that's the size difference. The small one fits inside the large one, so that's pretty cool. Alrighty, it is 6:15. Dinner is pretty much done. Darryl is just supervising the very end of it, and then we'll serve it up. And the kids have finished all the animals and stuff, so I came out here to finish off. I have no idea how much information I've given in this video, honestly. It has been an all-day sort of a thing, and then I had issues with the laser engraver in 3D. Anyway, I haven't mentioned, and I did want to mention, this is the weed matting aviary mesh down, so we're ready to put the aviary up on this. So I thought I'd show you that. Eventually I'll have a little table and chairs out here as well. It's lovely and cool out here at the moment. I have had some requests for the Amazon gift lists to be updated, the wish lists to be updated for the kids for Christmas, so I will endeavour to do that. I really struggle because I buy the kids what they need and want, generally speaking. It's just, like trying to think of things that are... The only things that I tend to have to struggle for are the expensive things, and that I'm not putting them on the wish list. I'm only putting the smaller stuff on there. So I have to think pretty hard about what is suitable, and then anything that's on the US wish list, I want to be small enough that shipping isn't an issue. Though if the US person has Prime, I think that there's lots that have Prime International, and I suppose the wish list gives you an idea as well, so you can have a look. You don't have to buy the specific things on the wish list. You could buy something that works out better shipping wise that is the same. So anyway, I put a few bits and pieces on there that I haven't got. Certain things like I need to get the kids new helmets this year, and I haven't done it yet. So I thought, well, I'll put them on that list, and they're a nice practical gift that the kids will use. And if they get bought, then that's fine. If they don't, then I will buy them when I do the next shopping trip anyway. I've tried to find some novelty items in the kids' things, like the boys are really into Sonic, and Sonnet's really into Psyduck, and they still like Five Nights at Freddy's and a bunch of other weird and wonderful shows that they watch. Though we have now removed YouTube from the kids' router, so they can't waste time on YouTube, which is going to be beneficial in the end for us. So that will help with getting them to do their schoolwork too, is the plan. So I will try and think of bits and pieces. They're all into crafts and art, so I think I put some textures on there, some alcohol markers on there, some colouring pencils in there, all that sort of stuff. But realistically, my kids aren't fussy, and that's a wonderful thing, but also not, because it makes gift buying somewhat challenging, because they don't have these like specific things that they need or want, because I buy them what they need or want, generally speaking, because they're not fussy. They just like gifts. So, that makes it hard. But I will see what I can do, and I'll put the links in the description for anyone who really wants to do that. And obviously there's an appreciation factor there for any of that. We have been joined by, there's 3 pussycats running around there. So yes, I will try and do that. Other than that, I can't think of what else I was supposed to talk about today, because it's all just, it's been a motley day. But I think with some of the cooking stuff that I will do during the week, I will try and chat while I'm cooking, a bit like I do on my Sunday Squirrels, and try and cover some stuff if I think of things that need to be covered. So we will see how we go. These videos are mostly for all my regulars anyway, so anyone else probably isn't going to be watching. So I don't know. I will leave it there, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.